Good afternoon there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Tonight, we are in Daytona Beach, Florida for a big race tonight, starting of the chase. As usual, I'm Tim McBree up here in the booth, and alongside me is my friend and colleague, Ryan Galber. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to a wonderful show here, as we always see at Daytona International Speedway. This is our second and final super speedway race of the season. We saw the season open at Talladega, and now we're here at Daytona to open up the chase here, as 12 drivers have been locked into the chase here for the final 5 races of the season for this K&N Pro Series of Extreme Motorsports 99.com, and just got done with qualifying. And one of those drivers that's chasing for a championship here starting at Daytona, Cody Fabianic, has put it on the pole here under the lights at Daytona. Starting second will be championship contender Alan Fox. And then it's going to be Orlando Rivera, Brandon Fries, Dylan Mirando, Alan Hilton, Mark Hamlin, Douglas Carlson, Andrew Jump, and Damian Crump is the top 10 on the grid. But as you know, Tim, qualifying at Daytona doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, it don't. Starting at the back or the middle or the front, it don't matter. You can come from the back to the front in 2 laps.
Yeah, you can, especially when you're in the back, maybe get a little lucky with accidents that are bound to happen here at Daytona. And after last week's race at Charlotte Roval, we saw coming out on top was Andrew Mraz with the dominating performance there at the Charlotte Roval. That was the one and only road course race of the season. And now, as the chase begins here at the Daytona International Speedway, we head to next week. This is the start of the chase, obviously, 5-race chase. The chase schedule consists of here at Daytona. Then we head to the Tricky Triangle of Pocono Raceway, Pocono, Pennsylvania. Then we head to 2 short tracks in a row. I guess a little bigger than short tracks, but they sure do race like short tracks, with the New Hampshire Motor Speedway and then Gateway Motorsports Park. Both those tracks back-to-back. And then the season finale is going to be held April 29th at Michigan International Speedway, the flat-ish 2-mile speedway, to put on a good show as our season finale.
I heard that. That New Hampshire's flat. It is flat, buddy.
Yeah, that is a track notorious for being flat, slow corners, and Gateway as well tends to be not as flat as New Hampshire, but also a flat track. A little bit bigger than New Hampshire, not much, but 2 very similar tracks there, New Hampshire and Gateway. And the unique Tricky Triangle of Pocono next week, though, after here at Daytona. That's for sure to be an interesting race.
That's going to be a nice one to call, too, Ryan. I love Pocono.
Yeah, great track that brings out all sorts of different talents. And these guys with 3 completely different corners, from flat, long turn 3 to that fast dogleg turn 2 and the high banked turn 1 there at Pocono. Very different corners puts on for very different racing. But here at Daytona, very unique compared to all the rest of these tracks. The wide open super speedway, anything goes, and anyone can win this race. It's one for the underdog, that's for sure.
It is for the underdog, I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, the winner of the other super speedway race we had at Talladega to open the season off was Doug Carlson there, which he is starting up toward the front tonight, up in the 8th position. Doug is in the 86 machine. We'll see if he can sweep the super speedway restrictor plate races here this season. He starts 8th after winning Talladega at the beginning of the season.
If he does. All right, they gridding up, my friend.
Taken to the grid front row, Cody Fabianic and Alan Fox will lead us to the green. Alan Fox, if I had to place any bets, I might put a little bit of money toward him on maybe pulling off this championship, because he has been really strong here throughout this season, especially this second half of the regular season is where he especially was shining talent-wise compared to the rest of the season, even though he's been up there all season long.
He has for sure, buddy. We're waiting on the pace car now.
Obviously, can't count out some of the guys that qualified further back, including Lee Overton way back in 19th in the last row of the field He's got a good chance, along with Brandon Ketchum 13th and Jerry Glenn 12th. Andrew Mraz, those guys also front runners here for the championship. But we could see guys make complete turnarounds here and maybe get a little luck on their side, and guys that maybe just snuck into the chase may be able to pull off a championship victory that maybe we didn't see coming. Some of those guys like Casey Duncan, Cody Fabianic's been pretty good recently. Orlando Rivera's been pretty good recently. All those guys, championship contenders here, they're in the chase.
They're doing good too, Ryan. I tell you, I've seen them. We've watched them week after week, buddy. They're good.
Yeah, along with them, other guys we didn't mention being in the chase like Damian Crump, Jeremy Clifton, all here tonight to begin this run for a championship. Crump, Clifton, Brandon Fries, Alan Hilton, all these guys real fast, and they got a real shot at it. Another couple of guys that didn't make the chase that are here tonight. Got Dylan Mirando starting 5th. He's real fast. Missed a couple of races, which forced him to miss out on the playoffs just by 1 spot. Mark Hamlin, only a part-time driver, but he's been pretty quick recently. These last few races we've seen him run. He's starting up there toward the front. I don't expect a championship out of him, obviously, as he's not in the chase, but good finishes here on these few weeks that he can run. He could totally get some good finishes.
Here we go.
Pace car out in the middle of 1 and 2.
Cody got a nice looking car tonight, ain't he?
Yes, he does. That Mountain Dew number 55 car on the bottom that we see week in and week out. Looking good.
I'm going to let you bring them to the green, brother.
Yes, sir. Still in the half a lap of pacing before we get going. But hopefully we don't see all that many cautions here tonight. It's going to be a very exciting race, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see some 3-wide racing tonight towards the end of the race there, Ryan. I've seen them practice it. They would have done good if they hadn't been for that lap down car got in their way.
Yeah, that's right. We got 85 laps ahead of us here from Daytona International Speedway. Getting ready to take the green flag. Pace car is in, and Cody Fabianic leads the field to the green flag. And we are green here. Cody Fabianic to the green flag has the field clear down towards turn 1 as they run double file up through the gears through the first 2 corners.
Yeah, they're doing good. That's 73 or 75. That's 73 up there with Brandon Fries in it.
Yeah, the 73 is Alan Fox. Brandon Fries is in the 29 there pushing, seeing what he can do. Alan Fox there with the run. That top side usually does have the speed as long as you can get a good pusher. And we got to be careful in these cars, especially pushing through the corners is always a danger.
They sure are. I'm thinking to get my thing up here now. They had to come back across the line before I can get it. I got my thing up there now.
And your leader on the outside at the line was Alan Fox, and he's clear with a big push on that strong outside line with Damian Crump, Brandon Fries, and Jerry Glenn pushing that outside line up toward the front. Alan Fox is clear. Brandon Fries was not clear, and he's forced to stick to the top side.
Yeah, Brandon Fries and the 12 up there of Damian Crump. And looked like Alan Fox fell back a little bit.
Yeah, he did. That bottom line is slower. But what the thing is you have to do when you're clear on the top side like that is Brandon Fries is going to be at the lead at the line that time. When you get clear on the outside, like Brandon Fries is close, so he's not going to come down. No risk needed. But when you're clear on that top side, you just got to drop down to the bottom, so let the car behind you on the outside breathe a little bit, which at the moment is Damian Crump, because that top side is always faster, but it's kind of just a courtesy thing to drop down, and it only hurts you from staying up top, because that top line will get all disjointed. But
that car will get hot too, the one that's following you.
Yeah, it's not too hard to blow a car up there in line behind somebody, especially Fabianic there, all up under the 73 Alan Fox there, down the front. But starting to calm down a little. What these cars real dangerous about is pushing in the corners. Seems to be the most dangerous thing, especially with these K&N cars. If you get in the back of someone trying to give them a helpful push in the corner, it's not going to do anything helpful, that's for sure. It's just going to turn the car in front of you. You're going to drive up under them, lift the rear wheels off the ground, and cause an accident.
Bad one, too. Orlando Rivera up there now. I see him up there in about fourth place.
Yeah, Orlando on the inside working on maybe even getting up to the top three here is Freeze and Mirando and Mike Gann, I think that is, in the 66. On the outside, they're starting to fall apart as that top line kind of dies down. Nobody's really pushing for any moves. People just filing to the inside and getting in a single file line here. But that bottom line now, with all the power and numbers that they have, has become faster than the top side, with right now only 3 cars in it, and they're fading away as they're just trying to find a hole to get to that inside line, because really nothing to push for right now. They're just cruising, trying to keep it clean. The way our Talladega race went here, at the start of the season, we had one big crash on lap 1 that took out a couple of cars, but then we went green from that lap 1 caution all the way to the very end of the race, where we had a late race yellow to end the race. But wouldn't be surprised maybe if we see these guys seem to be racing real clean, real smart, giving each other pretty considerable amount of room. Maybe could be given a little bit more room. Some of these guys getting pretty close nose to tail on that bottom line, but not doing too bad.
They trying to do a lot of side drafting too there, Ryan. I noticed we got Jerry Glenn. He's falling back a little bit. He was up there in fourth.
Yeah, Jerry Glenn fell a little further back there. He started in the back, worked his way up toward the front, and he's been cruising around 5th. As you can see, those top 5, top 7, 8 cars actually now, pretty good group, has bunched up with a couple of guys falling toward the back that are in here for the long run. You can see from Doug Carlson on back, they've kind of just started cruising. A lot of the guys cruising. Actually, not a lot of the guys cruising. A couple of them in the playoffs, like dead last right now, running 20th, is championship contender Lee Overton, who, especially in the later half of this regular season, has been really strong, and he is dead last, just cruising right now. I think he's just playing it safe, waiting on an accident.
I believe he is too there. We got Damian Crump right there in 8. Jerry Glenn right in front of him there. But look up there where Jeremy Clifton is there, Ryan.
Oh, he's just made it almost 3 wide for the lead. He forces Mirando, who now takes the lead on Brandon Freeze, to the lead. Dylan Mirando to lead, but now Jeremy Clifton with the push for Orlando Rivera on the outside line, which has now come alive. Is trying to get back at it. Jerry Glenn had to back out of the gas. Almost got 3 wide with Orlando Rivera there. But Dylan Mirando right now, actually, he's not going to lead his first lap of this race. Big push from Rivera to Clifton. Clifton leads that lap at the line. Top side has come alive again. These guys have gotten themselves a pretty big group of guys. Andrew Mraz in that group, along with Brandon Ketchum in that neon green new number 41 TNP Knives Chevy.
Yeah, Michael Grant is right there in that 55 there. We ain't been talking about him much. I mean, he's in the 55, 66, I believe.
Yeah, that's the 66 of Mike Gant, though. He doesn't usually run up toward the front most weeks. He runs around pretty well every week, but here at Super Speedways, like I said, it's a bit of an equalizer. Everyone is kind of even. It doesn't take as much skill when it comes to driving the track here as it does at other places, but it's just about a game of chess. As that time at the line, .000 between first and second. Give it to Orlando Rivera. That time at the line, he leads that lap by a nose hair.
That's all it takes to win the race when you get it that way.
That is exactly right. As we're almost, we're on lap 9 right now, and man, these guys are starting to get a little tense. Real close push in there between the front guys. They know we're early in the race. They know we still have 77 laps to go, 76 to go when we get to the line, but still some pretty fierce racing as all 20 cars within 2 seconds of each other.
That is close.
Oh, wow. One car gets shuffled down to the bottom. Dylan Mirando didn't see what happened there. I think he just out of instinct decided to pull down, and he bailed out. He did not want to be in that scrum of cars. He sees an accident waiting to happen, and he decided to drop back to the back of the field. He's not in contention for a championship. He's just here now to win races. And he drops back to the back of the field, and he's just going to put it in cruise control. And he expects an accident.
I don't blame him. It was looking bad up there in the front.
Yeah, now we've got side-by-side, nose-to-tail action from first all the way back to about 15th, 16th place car. And, yeah, things starting to get real hairy up front as we finish 10 laps, now 75 laps to go.
Orlando Rivera up there up front, he lead that one?
Yeah, he did. He's got the lead right now with Clifton following and Jerry Glenn and Mike Gant on the outside. Also Brandon Ketchum up there with Fabianic on the outside, pushing Andrew Mraz on the bottom with Brandon Fries pushing, as you can see Jeremy Clifton and Orlando Rivera with a real good run down the back.
Andrew Mraz there, he's coming to the front. He started 14th.
Yeah, Mraz, one of those guys I mentioned, started toward the back. Didn't have a great qualifying effort there, but a guy that we know is a championship contender, won the regular season finale last week at the Charlotte Roval. And at the line this time, it's Jeremy Clifton leads to the line. But yeah, Andrew Mraz up to 7th here, running pretty well, keeping it clean so far.
He'll be a great driver one of these days, Ryan, if he just pays attention to what he's doing and slow down just a little bit.
He's running well so far tonight. Along with the whole field, really. Everyone's keeping their nose clean. It's nice to see some guys cruising toward the back, just keeping it clean. A couple of those guys like Andrew Jump, Mark Hamlin, Doug Carlson, Mirando, Lee Overton, Chalifo, Roy Geeson, Doug Blackman are all guys that have been toward the back all race long, just not making moves, but about the top 10 or so cars have been shuffled all around. As this time at the line, lead change again. Jerry Glenn picks off Jeremy Clifton at the line.
I don't think neither one of them going to run off and leave one another that much.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tight race.
But right now it's about a 10-car breakaway. 10th place, Alan Hilton's is the last one that's really bunched up in this group, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Damian Crump in the number 12 machine. And now we're getting close to 3 wide for the lead as Mike Gant had to get out of it. A little bit of a checkup there behind Jerry Glenn. Field stacking up, trying to keep off the back of each other as Clifton continues to lead on the inside in that orange and black Lee Boy car.
Nice looking car, ain't it?
Yeah, new paint scheme for him.
Yep.
The Lee Boy Chevrolet.
Have you had any jokes pulled on you today?
He jokes, and I can't think of one right now.
This is April Fool's Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I haven't had nobody mess with me.
Yeah.
Oh, you would never thought about it if I hadn't said that, would you?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. You probably could have said something funny then, and I wouldn't have even noticed.
That's all right. It's another day, brother.
Yep.
We got a good race going on right here.
Jerry Glenn actually led that lap, beat Clifton to the line, and he's clear of Clifton, but he didn't get clear enough to jump to the inside, so still up top. Jerry Glenn with Mike Gant pushing.
I tell you what, Mike Gant's going to find his way up there. You watch and see what I'm telling you. He's running too close.
Yeah, he's pushing real hard, hoping Jerry Glenn drops to the bottom because he wants some clean air on his nose, and because he's been pushing ever since the start of this race, and finally he gets some clean air. As man, he gets a little sketchy there in the middle of the corner. Ketchum tried to stick his nose there in the middle. Gant started doing a little swerving around, but all is good. As Jerry Glenn clears to the inside, he leads. Clifton second, and then it's side by side, third on back from Orlando Rivera and Mike Gant on back. But the top two are clear, now top three on the bottom. As the top line's starting to fade again, they don't really have as much power up there as they did a moment ago.
ain't got no cars up there yet. There comes.
Yeah, here comes Rivera making a run to the top side. He got a run out of 2 when Clifton checked up. Instead of checking up himself, he just took the run he had to the outside. Now Orlando Rivera leads the outside line coming out of turn 4.
I don't think that's something Mike Gant wants to see.
Oh, now Clifton makes the move to the outside on Jerry Glenn. So now that top side getting strong as Glenn is being abandoned by Rivera and now Clifton on the outside line.
Boy, it's getting dicey there, Ryan. We're just 17 laps in, it's getting dicey already.
It is. These guys aren't holding back, and probably not too far from green flag pit stops, because it's not tires that are an issue. You could probably get through this whole race on the same set of tires, 85 laps. Not a big wear and tear on the tires, but fuel, obviously, you're going to need to pit for that at least once or twice in this race. Not exactly sure what the pit strategy is, fuel mileage they're getting here is, how long they're going to be able to last, but we'll find out, I guess. If they stay green, we'll obviously find out when they need to pit and how long they can last, because they're going to stay out as long as they can. Not really any short pitting strategy. You just want to come in with friends and drafting partners. As you see the top line again beginning to fade, they kind of lost their strength again as some guys bailed out and went to the bottom. Now it's just Orlando Rivera and Jeremy Clifton there on the outside, and that really helped Andrew Mraz, who stuck with it on the bottom line, pushing Jerry Glenn. And now those two first and second.
Well, Andrew, he's right there with them. He'll probably get up there in front of that 21 when he gets past him.
Yeah, once he clears the 21, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps up to the top and tries to make a run for the lead.
That's my suggestion. I mean, that's probably what he'll do.
Still 67 to go, and yep, we called it. Andrew Mraz to the outside in front of Clifton. He gets a push from Clifton, and Glenn loses all help. He gets his teammate there behind him, Alan Fox, to push. And now, man, they stacked up. Mike Gant almost got in the back of Orlando Rivera in a bad spot. That I thought was about to be an accident. Everyone stacks up on the outside. But now it's the battle for the lead. Andrew Mraz is going to have Glenn beat at the line. Let's see if he can clear him down for turn 1. It's close. He's going to need a shove here from Clifton.
I told you he'd get up there.
Yeah, and you were right, and he's clear. And he's going to drop to the inside. Andrew Mraz takes the lead here at Daytona. From 11th to the lead.
Yep.
11th and 12th place starters were Mraz and Glenn, and they run first and second. Those two work together, move to the front. Jeremy Clifton started 15th, so first, second, third place cars started in the second half of the field.
Already up to the front.
Doesn't take much, and it's early in the race, so they weren't trying as hard as they probably could have to get to the front as quick as they could, but man, impressive that they can get to the front that quickly.
Ooh, that 97 was pushing on there. He had to get up again.
All 20 cars still within 2 seconds of each other as the field runs side by side. But man, knock on wood, of course, but impressive that we've seen these guys running side by side, nose to tail, the whole entire field. 21 laps in is pretty good.
It's exciting to watch them do that right there.
Now Andrew Mraz leading the race, doing a little bit of blocking. He doesn't want to lose that lead. Usually you kind of just let the outside line get the run until late in the race you start throwing blocks, but you see Mraz already moving around trying to keep the field behind him.
He makes one on wreck, he's going to be in trouble. I mean, it's all right to block, but if you get caught in a wreck,
yeah, that'll cause a wreck. See him out of the corner there, blocking Clifton. Clifton didn't want it. Oh, contact. What a save, but man, Clifton did what he thought was right, and whoa, and there they go. Behind him on the checkup, there goes half the field. One car on his lid is Alan Hilton, and the big one happens in the back of the field. The big one here at Daytona in turn 3. Cody Fabianic, your pole sitter, involved. Alan Hilton involved. Ketchum involved. Mike Ganson, Dylan Mirando, Alan Fox, all involved, and it was the block that we saw coming from Andrew Mraz that was sort of the beginning of the domino effect.
See, that's what happened when you blocked that early in the race.
Yeah, it's honestly too early in the race to make a block like that, but he made the block and Jeremy Clifton was having none of it, and he went to the outside, the third line. He didn't want to have to check up for Mraz. And when he did make that move, Mraz came up a little further. They made contact, but those two were barely able to hold on to it. But then it was the stack up behind them when Jerry Glenn dove to the apron of the track, and then he came back up, and Fox had to check up, and he gets turned by the 66 into the 3. Nowhere for the 41, the 55, the 12 car. All of those guys nowhere to go.
Look at here and see what's going on back here.
But multiple playoff chase contenders involved heavily in this accident. Alan Hilton might be out of this race.
Yeah, I figured to say, I don't think he got no fish stick.
Yeah, Brandon Ketchum, heavily damaged. Hilton, Alan Fox, championship contender, Cody Fabianic, all four of those guys in the pits right now with heavy damage are all chase drivers. Fabianic, Fox, Hilton, and Ketchum off to a bad start, but a little bit of damage for Clifton, your leader. He's coming down pit road. It looks like everyone's going to come down pit road for fuel and tires, or maybe fuel at least.
I tell you what, that 31 of Andrew Mraz is going to, he's getting the best of that. What did I tell you?
Mike Gant also up in smoke. He might be out of this race.
Andrew Mraz come out first.
Yes, he did. Jeremy Clifton second. Still some good drivers out there. Jerry Glenn still in it. Orlando Rivera. Doug Carlson all the way up to 5th there after missing the accident. A lot of guys that you see way in the back that missed the wreck are up front now. Mark Hamlin's in the top 10. Jump is in the top 10. Alan Fox still out in the track with all that damage. He's going to probably be down on power, but he's still in there for the points. Probably not done wrecking just yet. Brandon Freese still clean, along with Casey Duncan, Doug Blackman. Still clean cars. Roy Geeson's clean. Jacob Chalafoe's got a little bit of damage. He might be all right. Lee Overton squeezed through there barely. He's clean. No damage to that car.
Well, Brandon Ketchum's in bad shape. Yeah. Now, Brandon, I'm having to run these buttons and things behind the scenes. Everything you see out there on that screen, I'm doing it. I can't talk too much, can I, Ryan?
Yeah, you got your hands full.
That's for sure. Well, there we go. Andrew Mraz is back out in the lead there. Jeremy Clifton right there. Now, Jeremy is a good driver there, Ryan. He's got some good runners up there in the front.
Yes, he does. Some good drivers still up there. All of these chase drivers that are still up there. The chance to win, of course.
Yeah, most of them are, yeah.
A couple guys with heavy damage. Looks like almost everyone was able to come out from the pits and still at least continue on in this race. Some with heavy damage, though, weren't. Mike Gant still in the pits. He looks to be done. Alan Hilton also looks to be at least going multiple laps down. A couple guys lost a lap, including Alan Fox, Brandon Ketchum. And looks like Cody Fabianic, I believe, also lost a lap.
They're showing them right there on the screen there. There's a bunch of them lost a lap. Five of them. Alan Fox is a lap down there, Ryan, but he's right there in third. You know what I mean? He's not in third, but he's right there behind Andrew.
Yeah, they're all having good runs up there. And out of these front runners, all of the top five, I believe, or all the top four at least, are championship contenders here. Doug Carlson only ran partial schedule, so he's not actually in the chase. But Glenn, Clifton, Mraz, and Rivera all are in the chase.
It amazing me they didn't give him his lap back.
So we got 15 lead lap cars. Mike Gant still down pit road with heavy damage, but Ketchum is a lap down along with Fabianic and Alan Fox. Like to see how things file out here. Is we're at 1 to green coming down the back straightaway. In the front row is Andrew Mraz and Jeremy Clifton.
Weird. We'll have a lap down car right there in fourth place. Oh, what number is that? 97?
Yeah, that's Jerry Glenn who's in third there.
That's Jerry Glenn there, yeah. Yeah, we're getting ready to go back racing here.
Yeah, getting ready for it. Pace car about to make the dive down to pit road. We've still got 60 more laps here at this race. Had a good 20 or so green flag lap run there to start. And we're going back green hopefully for another good run. As a very spread out restart there.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Brandon Freese laid back quite a bit, but so did Jerry Glenn, which leaves all alone on the inside is Andrew Mraz, and he's got decisions to make here as Orlando Rivera is choosing what line he wants to be in, the top or the bottom. He's clear for a moment as Jerry Glenn gets the run on the inside up to third.
I was fixing to say Andrew Moran got out there too quick. You got to be careful about that. They'll pass you by, buddy. Hey, back out front.
Now as we get up to speed here through the gears, everyone up to full speed now. Everyone's starting to bunch back up together from that slightly off the pace restart.
They were scattered out, weren't they?
Yeah, just a little bit. And now you're starting to be able to tell the difference between the guys with and without damage. As you can see, Alan Fox fading back along with Crump and Chalafo and Fabianic, all those guys with damage. Dylan Mirando, too, struggling to stay with the lead draft. Brandon Ketchum also, he's down pit road with heavy damage, still sitting there getting repairs done.
Well, we got 3 or 4 of them within the wreck.
Yeah, the guys that got the worst of it were all just happened to be the chase drivers, fortunately, who are now going to have a hole to dig themselves out of here for the last 4 races. Ketchum and Fox and are both on the top of my list of guys that I thought had the best chance at winning this championship.
Is Andrew Mraz in it?
Andrew Mraz is still out there leading. He's got a good shot, though. If I had to make a list, he'd be toward the top also, man. It's close between a lot of guys on who I think's got a real shot at it, but with the holes that some of these guys now have to dig themselves out of, it's going to be real tough.
Boy, you can see it out there, too.
Alan Hilton, 5 laps down, has got himself back on the racetrack with heavy damage to that car. He is more than off the pace. As the field catches him, you're going to see him. He's wide open on the apron right now. He's going so slow. You can see him down there. That's full speed for him. From flipping over, that's what'll happen. He's got all sorts of damage, and he's just crawling around trying to score points here and complete laps for the 3 car.
If he don't get up to speed there, they'll take him off for time.
Yeah, they do have the right to do that if he's way off the pace, and he might become a bit of an annoyance if we're coming around lapping him every 5 or so laps, because he is about 60 miles an hour slower than the lead pack here. which is right now a side-by-side battle between Clifton and Mraz.
Clifton is giving Mraz a run for his money right there, and he got the 8 right there, Orlando Rivera, pushing that Clifton, he's pushing Clifton to the front.
Yeah, that number 8 car pushing the 21, and it's kind of the same group before we saw at the beginning of this, or throughout this race up front. It's the Rivera, Glenn, Mraz, and Clifton show up front. And now some new faces that weren't up front earlier have risen up here since that accident. Doug Blackman, Lee Overton's up there too. We saw Brandon Freeze up there. He's in 6th now still. Doug Carlson up there. Andrew Jump in the top 10 along with Dylan Mirando, who's hanging in there with that damage. But you can see Damian Crump, Alan Fox, Jacob Chalafo, and Cody Fabianic. All those guys have lost touch with the lead group with all the damage they have. I don't think they're going to be in contention to win this race at that rate.
That's right. Jeremy Clifton took the lead right there for a few minutes. He did that lap.
Yeah, Clifton leads the lap, but it's still side by side, dead even between the top and the bottom groove leaders, which is Mraz and Clifton. And man, Mraz drifting way up the track, not giving much room to those guys at the top line. He's kind of trying to pinch him up toward the wall.
Yeah.
But Clifton's going to clear either way with a great push from Orlando Rivera down the front straightaway. Clifton clear of Mraz. We'll have to see. He's got room to dive down. Is he going to? And at the moment, looks like he's not going to. And he tried to there when it was too late. But, man, Mraz about a lane off the bottom of the track, trying to keep Clifton up high. Now, another great push from Rivera on the 21 of Clifton. Clifton is clear if he wants it. He's not going to go yet, though, and I don't think Rivera probably likes that very much as they come up on the lap car there. Brandon Ketchum, another car way off the pace.
Yeah, Brandon's way off the pace.
They're about to catch Mark Hamlin, who had to come down pit road under green for a penalty of some sort. And he's still on the lead lap, but about to go a lap down in the 03. He has no damage, though, so I think if we do have another caution and he can hang in there with that lead group, he should be fighting for the lucky dog, and should easily get it.
He should, yeah. Look at down below in 97, Jerry Glenn.
Yeah, Jerry Glenn has Andrew Mraz shot to the outside line to make a block, and 21 car to the outside doesn't like it, and he's now going to have a big run here through 3 and 4 on the exit of 4 as Mraz has a big gap back to Jerry Glenn, who's trying to get as good a push he can on the 31. Now clear again is the 21 of Clifton. Is he going to drop down this time? Mraz got a good push from Glenn, though, so I don't think he even has the option to this time. Mraz on the inside.
I think Clifton's staying up there with his partner.
Yeah, I think he is, but I don't know if that's something that Orlando Rivera is happy about or something Rivera might not be so happy about, because that 8 car must be doing a little overheat, and he's been right up the butt of that 21 car all race long.
He sure has. The 25 there, Doug Blackman right there behind him, and Doug ain't been up there in front tonight neither. And that 86 right there of Doug Carlson.
Ooh, man, that was a hairy block there by the 31 of Mraz. Again, I think it's stacked up the whole field again, too. That's something that Jeremy Clifton must be really upset about, because 31 has been making some really hairy blocks there throughout this race, and that one was more than close. That's a block I don't think I personally would have even made on the last lap of the race, never mind 50 laps to go in this one, and he threw it up there and threw a huge block on the 21 car.
That's what caused the wreck for him, though.
Yeah, that's what caused the chain reaction to cause that last wreck, and he just about got himself right hooked in front of the field.
You know, you have to be careful out there. What comes around goes around.
Yeah, he knows it too. He's gotten the short end of the stick a few times this season, but then again, he's a real fast car week in and week out, and he totally has the capability of putting together a championship run here this season. And still being alive at this rate, of the race, man. He's got a good shot at it.
How many contenders we got up towards the front there, Ryan?
Well, we got Jerry Glenn up there. You see him in the 97. The 31 and the 21, the leaders, Clifton and Mraz, our championship contenders. 29 and Brandon Fries up front. He's a championship contender. So is the number 16, the Lee Overton, who's kind of got it in cruise control right with Orlando Rivera at the tail end of this pack. And Casey Duncan also just cruising at the tail of the field, waiting on cautions to happen, as this lead group has certainly been narrowed down quite a few cars from that last accident.
Yes, it has.
Oh, man, another big block by Mraz. His 21 car gets all up the back end. I saw the 97 dart to the apron. He was expecting an accident there. A lot of guys backing out of it. Because, man, look at Mraz blocking to the bottom, back to the top, and the whole field is stacking up, and Jerry Glenn's going to get turned, and there he goes around in front of the field. Jerry Glenn, Roy Geeson involved. Orlando Rivera is going to nose it in the inside wall. He's got heavy damage. Caution out again.
And it's because he was blocking.
And unfortunately, you're right again, Tim. Aggressive blocking coming down into turn 3 and all the way down the back straightaway by Andrew Mraz. Blocked the bottom, blocked the top, and the whole field was just expecting a crash, backed out of it, got into each other, and kind of when it comes down to the cause of the actual accident, it was a racing deal, but the checkup from the blocking is what led to it. But man, Lee Overton, gotta say, I noticed how he snuck by the last wreck by a whisker, and he did it again here. Lee Overton barely misses another big crash, and that could save his race and maybe even his season when it comes down to it.
I'm telling you the truth, man. It's too early to be blocking.
Still 47 laps to go under our second caution for the same issue, blocking by Andrew Mraz.
Wow. Oh, there they are.
So we'll see if anyone comes down pit road. 47 to go. Fuel, tires, we'll see what they take here.
You know, this league here is not supposed to block till 10 to go there, right?
Yeah, that is the rule, and we'll see what the admins have to say about it. I mean, it is the rule. See what they say, but it's all up to admin's discretion on that rule. That is going to be up to them on what they call it. And Doug Carlson leads the race off pit road. He'll be the leader here with Mraz second and Lee Overton third.
Oh, Doug must have got 2 tires, didn't he?
Yeah, Doug Carlson might have taken fuel only, actually, there. He's got one of few completely clean cars. Him, Lee Overton looked clean. Doug Blackman, Brandon Fries hanging in there. We'll see who comes out on top. There's a bunch of guys taking the wave around or maybe just waiting to come into pit road this time. We'll have to see.
There's that tore up 3. Surely he's going to get a wave around.
Yeah, those cars are all just 1 lap down. Jeremy Clifton taking a lengthy pit stop. Looks like he's fallen to the tail of the lead lap. Taking all the repairs and stuff he can.
Jeremy Clifton?
Yeah, he's going to fall to the tail of the lead lap here for sure, but lengthy pit stop for the 21.
He was leading it a while ago.
Yeah, he was up toward the front. He had a little bit of left front damage. He must have just decided to get that fixed. We'll see out of those lap down cars, Alan Hilton comes down. He's 7 laps down. He's not going to take a wave around, but Ketchum, Clifton, and Fabianic will all gain a lap back, which will put 16 lead lap cars out on the field. But man, Jeremy Clifton's actually still in pit road. He lost a lap there. Not sure what's going on with him, but now a lap down is Jeremy Clifton.
Wow. That 86, the leader, is down low too. I wonder what he's doing.
It looks like Doug Carlson fell back there. I don't know what he's doing. Looks like he got an EOL penalty for being the cause of the accident, probably, when it came down to it, even though it was just the stack up with what happened. Carlson actually came down into Jerry Glenn there to cause the crash.
Well, you can go down to the tail end of the lead lap.
He'll probably come down pit road, too, with 1 lap to green to top off on fuel and whatnot.
I would. Oh boy.
So it will be Andrew Mraz, Lee Overton, the front row now. As Jeremy Clifton still is in pit road, he's gotten out of his car now. Not sure what the deal is there, but he's about to go 2 laps down now.
Something happened to him.
Yeah, it's interesting because he is a championship contender here. He's in the chase. As you see, the wave around cars taking their lap back. Fox, Fabianic, and Ketchum. In the front row will be Mraz and Overton.
Lee Overton is a good driver.
He is, especially these last few weeks. He's been killing it, really, and he's survived Daytona so far. And he might get himself a good result here, which could be the big difference maker, as a lot of other front runners for the championship have been taken out.
Real. Now, Lee Overton, he's been running in the back there a lot, but he's up here on front now. We'll see if he got anything for Andrew. I don't think we've seen the big one yet, have we?
We've seen some. That first wreck we had, I think, classified as a big one, but that last one there, I'd call that the medium one. Didn't take out a ton of cars, but it did some damage across the field.
It's going to probably come from the front. More than likely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we keeping up with the front runners up here is they're contenders, and we got to keep our cameras on them as much as possible.
So here we come to the green flag. Race leader Andrew Mraz decides to take the outside, forcing the 16 of Lee Overton to the inside, but green flag is out. Good jump there by the outside line, and get Mraz and Freeze clear first and second.
Yeah, he did. He put Lee Overton right there in third, and Dylan Mirando, look at there.
Up to fourth. He had some damage to that car. Looks like he got fixed, but he's running back up toward the front now.
He sure is. That surprises me.
Yeah, he's using with all he's got left in that car. Man, Doug Blackman, big run down the back straightaway. He's clear. Man, Doug Blackman, new leader. Haven't heard from him in a while. He's been an on and off guy. We've seen him win races here. I remember last season, I believe he won a race. And, man, he's back in action here. Hasn't made much noise this season, and he is in the lead here. A non-championship contender. Doug Blackman is the leader.
That's awesome right there. Doug been in a slump.
Yeah, he totally has been, and man, he's out front here, the great equalizer of Daytona. Doug Blackman, again, non-championship contender. He's just here to win. If he ain't first, you're last for Doug.
Well, that's what Andrew Mraz and them are to figure out. He's just there to win.
Exactly, and he is leading this race right now. Andrew Mraz, who's a points contender, along with Casey Duncan. Actually, every other car in that lead group is a championship contender other than Doug Blackman. And Lee Overton in sixth is running for a championship. So is Freeze. Actually, Dylan Miranda is not. So it would be Freeze, Duncan, Overton and Mraz, 4 of those top 6 cars running for a championship, but leader Doug Blackman is not.
He's just there to win the race.
Yep.
Well, JC come up to the front, didn't he? He took advantage of that pit stop.
Yeah, we saw him running toward the back all at the beginning of the race on purpose, of course, and that paid off because those 2 crashes we had took out a majority of the field, and now he's found himself in the top 6 here at the end of the race. And these are the only real 6 cars we have left that don't really have much damage. A couple other guys maybe that have found themselves toward the back of the field without a lot of damage, but looking good for him.
But Doug is leading the way.
Doug Blackman leading.
I think Andrew likes that.
No, I think Andrew wants to be the one leading this race at all times for sure, but still pretty aggressive up there. We got Casey Duncan on the outside trying to make something happen there in the 17 Federated Auto Parts, or Western Autos Parts America car, the old Darrell Waltrip paint scheme.
I figure say that's an old throwback.
Yeah, it is, that 17 car. He runs the outside.
Well, we don't have that auto parts anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they exist anymore.
I don't think they do.
But a pretty big second group has also emerged. That's the 7th place cars on back. Doug Carlson's got a clean car. Also, Mark Hamlin has a clean car in the 03, and they're both still running all right up there in that group. Just waiting on another caution because they need that to be able to catch that lead group. But Mark Hamlin seems to be having some blinking issues. He's going in and out. You can see he's falling out of that lead, out of that pack because of that. Which is unfortunate because he's got a clean car. And we got trouble that second group. Jerry Glenn's around. Also, Jacob Chalafaux involved. Alan Fox gets hit at last second. Andrew Jump is in it. Caution. In the second group, there's a crash.
I was just looking at him.
Not sure what caused it there. I saw it the last second. It looks like what I said earlier in the race, pushing in the corners, especially the damaged car, Jerry Glenn, with that messed up back bumper. He gets turned by the 55 car, Cody Fabianic. And then back up the track came the 97. Nowhere for Jump and Chalafaux to go. They crash hard.
Yeah,
Orlando Rivera barely squeezed by, but not so lucky. Alan Fox just gets clipped. He was running on the lead lap in 13th. He's got some damage now. Mark Hamlin also lost internet connection at the same time of that accident, so he's falling out of this race. He's going to start losing laps as he's in the garage. But caution out for the 3rd time here with 38 to go.
That 3's still running, but he ain't catching nothing.
Yeah, a lot of guys just in there trying to complete laps here for all the points they can, because as more crashes happen, more guys are out of the race, and they're picking up just a few spots here just as they complete laps. And that's what it could come down to here in the point standings, as we see a little bit of a split decision. Maybe not a split decision. Doug Blackman stays out. The rest of the field comes in.
Doug wanting to win this one. That's what he's wanting to do.
That's all he's here for.
Well, he ain't got how many laps on his tires? 9? That ain't much.
Yeah, I don't think the tires make a difference. It just comes down to the fuel mileage here to the end of the race.
He might have enough to make it.
We'll have to see when it comes down to it.
Yeah, Dylan Miranda messed up when he started laying off, you know it?
Yeah, he did. And now he's got himself in trouble.
Yeah, because he ain't in the chase no more.
Yep.
I hate that. But he probably had some things he had to take care of. We'll have K.C. Duncan in second place there, right?
Yeah, he's up toward the front now. He was the first one off of pit road there, and with Doug Blackman staying out, he'll be in second spot. Good run there for KC, and man, what a underdog finish that would be. KC Duncan this season, he's been consistent out of the 10 races so far. He's showed up for all of them, and 7 top 10s, and but only 1 top 5 through the first 10 races of the season. I mean, he's got a good shot at maybe better than the top 5. We can find him in the podium maybe when it comes down to it here tonight.
Could do it. Surely to God they're going to put that 13 at 3, give him a bypass.
You would think so, but he wasn't the wave around position, so he's got to go to the back. Rules are rules. He wasn't the lucky dog, nor in the wave around. Right now we got 13 lead lap cars on the track.
Yeah, he had to go to the back if he didn't get a wave around because he was, 2 laps down?
Yeah, because Doug Blackman stayed out, so if he was ahead of all lead lap cars, he would have got a lap back, but since Doug stayed out, that kind of ruined his chances of getting a lap back. But either way, 7 laps down, not something you can really come back from with all that damage.
I wouldn't even try.
He's just in it for all the points he can, because Mark Hamlin, who's 2 laps down, fell through out of the race, so in a few laps he'll get another spot from him. And he's also only 1 lap behind Geeson and Ketchum, and only 1 lap behind him, Damian Crump.
Heard that, Tyler. Thank everybody for coming in tonight. Oh, we're going to give a shout out to simspeedshot.com there, Ryan. They have the button boxes, brakes, anything you want for iRacing. simspeedshot.com. They're good friends of mine. They're the best when it comes to that.
So it looks like a couple guys just came down pit road, maybe to top off on fuel, because I think at this point with 35 to go, we are close to being able to making it on fuel and tires and whatnot. So these guys, Overton just came down pit road, Mraz, Hilton, a lot of guys come down pit road here as we take 1 to green, and I think that's because we must be close on fuel from this point to the end.
Mraz came down?
Yes, he did. Lead lap guys and all came down pit road.
That's unusual there.
I think it's just because there's so few cars left in contention, they just decided to come down pit road, got all the fuel they could possibly get, fill it up, so that they can make it to the end of this race, because it might be close on fuel. If they were to go green the rest of the way, we could see a fuel mileage race on top of all this, but then again, 1 more caution and all hell changes.
You think Doug and Casey will come down? No, they can't now. Well, they could.
For the green, but it all depends on how much fuel we got left and when the cautions fall.
Really? I bet that's what they're counting on, another caution.
Which is probably not a bad thing to count on. Because still, 35 laps left here from Daytona. Cautions are likely.
K.C. Duncan came in.
Yeah, everyone came into that caution there, but a couple of guys came in with 1 to green to top off. But Doug Blackman out on the oldest set of tires and the longest stretch on fuel here. 13 laps as we go green. Doug Blackman, K.C. Duncan, Dylan Mirando, Douglas Carlson, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Orlando Rivera up there also. We'll see what happens as the field is way spread out into turn 1.
Well, they don't need to worry about Dylan Mirando because he's not in the... he's nowhere near them.
Yeah, he's not in the chase. He's did not make it. He was 1 spot out of making the chase. And neither is Doug Blackman. Right now, K.C. Duncan is the only car up there that's in the chase because neither is Douglas Carlson there, who's running 4th. All those guys aren't even in the chase. Next one is Orlando Rivera, who's in 5th. And then next one behind that is 6th place Cody Fabianic, the pole sitter.
Cody's got a fight going on with the 33 right there.
Yeah, and 33 is 6 laps down and 16th there.
Now look at that. We don't need to be fighting with him too much neither. He'd be way back.
So single file throughout most of the field. Man, Doug Blackman, though, he's run 6 races this season. No top 5s, 2 top 10s out of those 6 starts he made during the regular season. And, man, it'd be an underdog victory for sure to see Doug Blackman come back to victory lane, which we haven't seen him on top 3 steps of the podium in a long time.
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
And we can see here, if you look back just a few spots, a fast trio of cars is approaching. Brandon Fries, Andrew Mraz, and Lee Overton, probably the 3 fastest cars in the race that just came in and topped off on fuel, were in the back of the field. They are flying right now, catching up. They're blowing Orlando Rivera out of the water as they come out of turn 2, and they are reeling in the lead group of 4, Carlson, Mirando, Duncan, and Blackman.
If they stay in that line, they'll catch them too.
Man, they are flying. They've got about 5-6 mile an hour on that lead group. And when they catch them, they're not only going to catch that lead group, they're going to fly right around them here at this pace. They've got a lot of speed, and they're going to have a big run here now that they have the draft off of that group.
All of them the same lap, ain't they?
Yeah, those are all lead lap cars. 1st through 7th or 8th position there, back to Rivera.
So Rivera's on the back side of them there. He got Lee Overton right there in front of him.
So it's 2 groups of 4. And I believe Fries is close enough. If not, he's really close to the draft there. It's close, though, and he just needs that extra little push to catch up. Once he gets in the draft of that first group, they're going to catch him real quick.
Oh, they will. He ain't close enough yet. That shows you a picture of where they're at right there.
Yeah, I think the top 7 cars you've got going right now are the 7 that are going to contend for this win. Everyone behind Lee Overton, which is Orlando Rivera and Cody Fabianic, I think those guys have too much damage to fight for the win here. They might be out of it just because of how much damage they have. But here comes Fries, Mraz, and Overton. They have caught that top 4.
They sure have, buddy. Got Brandon Fries leading Andrew Mraz, and he's leading Lee Overton too.
That's a group of 3 chase drivers, 3 championship contenders, trying to catch a group of 4 cars that only one of them is a championship contender. That's Casey Duncan.
He's right there in 2nd. I believe they picked up the knots up there in front.
Yeah, they're just hanging back right now, about half a second back. I don't know how they haven't actually caught that group before, because they're in the draft. I think they might just be playing a little cat and mouse, just kind of chilling out right there.
They're way apart from one another too.
Because only half a second separates 4th and 5th. That's easily close enough to get the draft, I believe.
Let me look up here. At 66. He's like, what, 2 or 3 laps down? 86, I mean. No, that's Doug Carlson.
Yeah, all those guys are on the lead lap there. 1st through 7th, those 2 groups, they're all 1st through 7th place there. Lead lap cars.
Andrew Mraz is right behind Brandon Fries right there in 5th place, and you're right. They should have done caught him.
I think it's kind of on purpose how they're just chilling there. If not, they're going to get them at one point. As Fries is now really reeled in the gap there. He's right behind Doug Carlson. I think it's on purpose, honestly, that Fries is just kind of hanging out. He's decided there's no rush, no reason to really get there. Still 28 laps to go, and they're catching the pair of lap cars right now. That's the 16th and 11th place cars, Jerry Glenn and Alan Hilton. Jerry Glenn now is 1 lap down. He'll be in the lucky dog position for the time being. Alan Hilton now 8 laps down, running 16th.
That slowed them down a little bit right there.
Yeah, that hurt that group of 3 with Freeze, Mraz, and Overton more than it hurt the group of 4 in front of them, just because of where they caught that pair of lap cars.
Yep. Let's look at Douglas. Now they ain't even, there they are. I was looking at Douglas Carlson and see if they was in the same frame, but no.
Yeah, now here's Freeze right up to the back of Douglas Carlson. But Doug, he's not even throwing any blocks. Freeze is kind of just hanging in there right behind that group of 3. Now we got a 7-car freight train here with just 26 laps to go.
I don't think there's going to be too much blocking going on, I don't think, up front.
Hopefully they learn from their mistakes and take it easy here to the end. But of course, when we get down to the very end of things, making aggressive blocks and whatnot is expected.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, so like that, yeah.
Yeah, once you get down to the nitty gritty, it's kind of aggressive moves like we saw maybe out of Andrew Mraz earlier in the race are a lot more acceptable, I guess.
Lee Overton is back there on the, and he's banging up the rear end.
Yeah, he is. He's still got a clean race car. Missed 2 of those wrecks by not much, man. If he comes through and wins this race, I'd A, wouldn't be surprised, and B, I gotta say he's had the golden horseshoe of the race, that's for sure.
Well, he went in there and topped it off while ago too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's just you can look at the chart of who pitted when. Doug Blackman hasn't come down pit road for 22 laps, so if anyone can't make it on fuel, it's Doug Blackman. Casey Duncan, Dylan Miranda, Doug Carlson are 14 laps on their fuel run, and 12 laps on the fuel run is Freeze, Mraz, and Overton, because they came in there on 1 to green when the pace lights went out there and topped off. As you can see, they just put a trio of cars a lap down: Chalafo, Jump, and Ketchum, which Ketchum's 15th now, 7 laps down. Jump is 13th now, or 12th now, 2 laps down. And Chalafo is 13th now, 3 laps down.
Wow.
So yeah, rough run for Brandon Ketchum especially. He's a big points contender.
Yes, he is. He's 7 laps down.
Yeah, he is. Chalafo and Jump, though, not in the chase, unlike Brandon Ketchum is. But have to see how this battle comes down. If it comes down to fuel, which if we go green the rest of the way, I bet you it does come down to fuel, because I don't think all these guys can make it, especially Doug Blackman. Unfortunately, I guarantee you he doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end. It would be 47 laps, which is too far. He won't be able to make that if we stay green.
I don't think they got the 75% fuel.
Yeah, and usually at Daytona, in real life, at 100% fuel, they usually do 45 to 50 laps, and he's going to have 47 laps to the end on that tank of gas, so I doubt he'll make it, but it'll be close for the rest of the field. Those guys that came in on 1 to green last caution did it for a reason, and that's because they knew it's close. And we'll see. Maybe a little fuel mileage is going to come down to it, but the way they're running single file like that, that's the best way you can save fuel.
Oh, yeah.
They're all lifting. The only guy that's burning the most fuel is Doug Blackman in the lead, but whether or not he's saving fuel or not, I don't think there's any way he could make it. So he's just pacing the field right now, and everyone else is probably doing a little bit of fuel saving there, lifting as much as they can.
I think Casey Duncan knows he's going to have to go in over there, too. Knowing he can't make it on that fuel. Either one of them cars right there could win the race.
Yeah, it's really between all those top 7 cars, it's equal. And really only one with a lot of damage is maybe Dylan Mirando and Doug Carlson, but either way, I think the damage they do have isn't enough to hold them back too bad, but it's really even between these top 7 cars. It could be any of them when we come down to it.
I tell you what, Dylan Mirando hanging in there.
Yeah, Mirando in 3rd, having a good run. We saw him run really strong multiple times this season, but a lot of unlucky moments forced him out of the out of the chase here. And unfortunate that he wasn't able to make the chase, because he is one of the better drivers out there in the field. And he totally deserved it if he just got to put some of those races together.
Yeah, he's a good driver. He does deserve to win. He won the other night in one of our other races.
He certainly is a really good driver. As you see, a couple guys just got lapped there. That was the 33 of Roy Geeson, who's now 7 laps down, and Alan Fox is running 10th right now. That puts him in the lucky dog position of 10th, but not far in front of them. Jerry Glenn about to go 2 laps down, and also with Jerry Glenn there, the 3 of Alan Hilton as they hold the bottom line. Let the field go around the outside.
Alan Fox ain't going too fast.
Yeah, those cars there, the 3 and the 73 are killed, along with that's the 97 and the 3, the 73 and the 33 also heavily damaged cars.
Well, he's just trying to get points now.
Yeah, that's what they're here for. Once you destroy a car, you're just cruising around the track, getting as many points as you can. Not very fun, but you got to do it.
Well, I seen them the other night on open wheel. They had their fenders knocked off.
Yeah, you just got to hang in there when it comes down to the chase here. If this were more of a regular season race and maybe you found yourself in a scenario where you had already locked yourself into the chase, where points maybe didn't matter, you probably would have quit already, but these guys need points, and they know it. They're running for a championship.
I'll tell you what, Doug Blackman getting on close. He got 28 laps for his third. I believe he might go 35.
Yeah, he's still coming to 17 to go is a long way, but we'll have to see how it pans out. We don't really know how long they can actually last. So maybe he's got something up his sleeve, but I'd be surprised if Doug Blackman can make it on fuel. And even if he can, he's still got that 6 other cars behind him that are hungry for a win, just like himself.
Yeah, right behind him. Well, see, right now, K.C. Duncan is the first one in the chase.
Yeah, Duncan is the only one out of the top 4 in the chase. You have to go back to Brandon Fries in 5th to get the next one. Wow, they had to split some lap cars there. Ketchum and Jump, that was. And the bottom was Ketchum on the apron and Jump on the top there. They're multiple laps down, 13th and 15th respectively. But yeah, it's interesting how it came down to an abundance of non-chase drivers here. Blackman in 1st, Mirando in 3rd, and 4th place Doug Carlson. Non-chase drivers up there in the top group at the end of this race. And it's going to be one of these 7 guys, I guarantee it, that wins this race. Not sure which, but one of them.
I don't know. I think KC got a better chance.
I would have to say so. I think out of the 7 of them, the worst chance has got to be Doug Blackman. He probably needs a caution here to come down pit road and not lose as much time. But guessing that they all but Blackman can make it to the end, I'd say it's equal between anyone but Blackman. But if everyone's got to come down pit road, it could be anyone that wins this race. And if everyone can make it, then it could be anybody. So all comes down to fuel.
Yeah, they'd be the first one out would more than likely be the winner.
That's probably right. I'll bet you one thing, the winner will be the first one to cross the finish line.
Oh, he will.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. I tell you what, we've had a good race tonight here, Ryan. And like I was telling them, we didn't pay much attention behind because all of our top contenders is right here in the front.
Yeah, all the action's been up front tonight. Because if you're out back, they've kind of just been cruising with heavy damage. But now at the line, 14 laps to go. It's coming down to the end here.
Edwin Mraz is back there in 6th. He ain't tried to make no move yet.
Yeah, they're cruising. No point in making a move now because you can make a move on the 2 lap to go, 3 lap to go point from the last car in that group and make it to the front. So really no point in doing so now. So they're just cruising, probably saving fuel.
Is Doug gonna try to make it?
Have to find out. I don't know about you there, Tim, but I've been watching this race from our favorite Blimpie cam, getting a good view of the top 7 running down the front straightaway.
I haven't been doing that.
Gets a good view, you see the whole field.
The blimp or what?
Good old Blimpie cam.
Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We in the blimp now. Y'all don't fall out.
Hold on to something because you got a good view of the field, though. Single file, 1st through 7th. You can see the gap there from Carlson to Freeze there. That trio back there has been keeping a little bit of a gap there from 4th to 5th for whatever reason, but maybe just fuel saving, keeping themselves close. Maybe make a slingshot move at one point.
You got Doug Carlson right there in the middle of all them.
Yeah, in the 86, that Navy car, right in the middle of the K&N sandwich.
Yes, he is. Uh-oh, we got a lap down car up there.
Yeah, that was Damien Crump coming out of the pits, and there's Alan Hilton, who's way off the pace there. He's going to hold his line on the bottom. Everyone cleanly gets through on the outside. As we come down, only 12 laps to go here, and Doug's still out on the racetrack.
It sure is. Do y'all like that Blimpie cam there at the last of the race like that where we can see everybody? I think it's cool. You see all 7 cars right there, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I've been watching most of the race from this angle myself.
They might get mad at me if I keep it up here too long.
Yeah.
Go back down there and see what, well, there you go, the blimp cam there. We back down here on the bottom now. KC is getting a push from Dylan Miranda.
Yeah.
They're fixing to make a move here in a minute.
Yeah, Miranda was getting awfully close there. He's pushing KC pretty hard there down the back, but we'll just have to see here. This is 10 laps to go at the line. Doug Blackman still showing no signs of pitting in. Still out on the racetrack, 10 laps left, and I think if Doug's made it this far, I'm pretty confident that the rest of them can. Here comes the slingshot. Finally, the group of 3 from the back, led from Brandon Freeze with Andrew Mraz, and Lee Overton makes a slingshot move to the outside. That's why they laid back, and they make the slingshot, and they pass everyone as Doug Blackman moves to the bottom. He might be out of gas there, Tim.
He's out of gas there, Ryan.
And right as they make the slingshot, they get right to the lead. Man, big change there. The whole top 7 just flip-flopped, and Doug Blackman is out of gas on the apron of the track, and that scares me because he had exactly 10 laps more of fuel than the rest of those guys, and there's exactly 10 laps to go when he ran out of gas. That tells me it's close. Those top 3 cars, I think, have a real good shot of making it, but those back 3 of the top 6, they're Carlson, Duncan, and Miranda, they're close.
Gonna be close on fuel, too. I guarantee you they are.
You might see some guys running out of gas there at the very end as Doug Blackman is crawling his way down to pit road.
Well, Brandon Freeze has got that lead, and he got Andrew Mraz right there on him. And
oh, trouble. Casey Duncan gets turned and flung through the air, flipping down in turn 3. Casey Duncan got hooked. Caution's going to come out, and that just saved Doug Blackman's race.
It did.
Because he's coming out of pit road, and he might hang on to the lead lap. And he's got enough fuel now to make it. But, man, Casey Duncan got turned, and the caution's out. Casey Duncan is killed, and now everybody's going to be good on fuel. And it's going to be a dash to the finish. Caution's out with 8 to go. We're probably going to get 3 or 4 more laps here to the end.
Let's watch this Casey Duncan flip.
Looks like Mirando had a big run on Casey Duncan. He got into the back of him, and Casey checked up, and Mirando ran into the right rear and right hooked Casey into the wall and over the top of Doug Carlson.
You know, they might ought to call home, see if Casey's all right.
Yeah, man, he went for a wild ride there in turn 3. One car accident, and it's Casey Duncan destroyed. And, man, that's a shame because he's a guy that we don't see running up in the top 5 like he has been tonight all that often. And he made the chase, and we thought he'd have a pretty good gap here coming out of the race 1 of the chase, and he is done.
I guarantee we can see some fuel going on here.
Yeah, I think these guys probably play it safe and come down for fuel, but I do think they can make it if they don't pit either way, but we'll have to see. Looks like Freeze comes down, but Overton and Mraz stay out. I think they're going to be okay, to be honest, on fuel. But here comes Cody Fabianic also along with the rest of the lead lap cars. But it's going to be Mraz and Overton first and second.
Oh, boy.
And it's going to be probably fuel-only stops here for the other guys. Actually taking some tires is Brandon Freeze. Doug Carlson, though, fuel-only. He comes out first. Freeze took right sides. He loses a spot to Carlson. And Mirando takes 4 tires in fuel. Comes out behind everybody.
Andrew Moran leading the race. I think they're going to run into some problems.
We'll have to see, because under this caution, they're coasting it and saving fuel. And I think even if we didn't have this caution, they were at least Mraz, Overton, and Freeze were going to be all right. Freeze came in anyway. But I feel fairly confident that everyone's going to make it on fuel now. But there's no saving fuel into green. So either way, they're going to be pushing for the last 4 or 5 laps.
Well, you got Brandon Freeze in 4th place, and he got 4 fresh tires. So, hey, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be close between these front runners. And getting ready for an exciting one, that's for sure. Because now it's no hanging out, no fuel mileage, no just chilling in the back. It's throttle down, you're going for it.
Run what you brung right now. We got 6 more laps to go. After this one starts, the next flag will be the last one.
Yeah, caution at this point will end the race. This late in the race, there's no overtime, no green, white checkers, none of that. So caution will end it this late.
You know what, Ryan?
What's that?
Andrew might win the championship.
He's got a good shot. He's real fast. This is obviously only race 1, but with the misfortunes of all these other big contenders like Alan Fox, especially Brandon Ketchum, Alan Hilton, all finishing outside the top 10 here, more than likely at the end of things, he has given himself a huge advantage out of the first race. Him and Lee Overton, though, both of those guys, even if it comes down to it and they maybe finish toward the back of what is the lead lap, that's still a good finish compared to some of these guys.
Well, Lee Overton's going to be fast, but he's on the same tires that Andrew's on. Doug Carlson is right there behind him, but he's not a lead contender. Brandon Freeze is, and he's right behind Doug Carlson, and he's got 4 fresh tires there, Ryan.
I'm just excited to see how all this shakes out. We're probably going to have 4 laps to the checkered flag. So, exciting race incoming to the finish. That's certainly no April Fool's joke as we come down to it.
It ain't no April Fool's joke. We fixing to see some racing going on right here. Lee Overton's got the same amount of laps on his tires. He's going to have just as good a chance as Andrew Mraz there, Ryan.
Yeah, Mraz and Overton, both of those guys, 30 laps out on the racetrack on that set of fuel and tires. I don't think the fuel will really be an issue as long as they're saving under this caution. But I don't think the tires make a huge difference. We'll have to see how it all pans out, though. Mraz elects the outside. He's going to have Brandon Fries to push. Overton will have Doug Carlson on the inside, but it's going to be 4 laps of excitement here to the end.
Oh boy. Is them new tires going to take over them 20-lap tires or 30-lap?
We're going to have to see. We know Andrew Mraz is very aggressive. We saw his blocking earlier. Maybe that blocking could lead to an accident. Maybe that blocking could lead to a beautiful win.
He can block now. He can block now. Legally.
Yeah, legally it's totally fine for him to block now. I wouldn't have anything against him throwing crazy blocks, but as long as he doesn't crash and he throws those blocks successfully and wins the race, I've got nothing against it. But it's coming down to the wire here. Mraz and Overton, championship contenders on the front row. Brandon Fries, a championship contender, is 4th. Look at Cody Fabianic. We saw that car damn near flip over on that first big crash we had 20 or so laps into this race. He's up there in 6th. We got Orlando Rivera in 7th. Doug Blackman came down pit road under green. He's still on the lead lap in 8th on fresh tires. Don't count him out. That car is clean and ready to run to the front. That 25 of Doug Blackman. He barely stayed on lead lap with that perfectly timed caution. But here we come. It's going to be 4 more laps.
I'm going to tell you something. Doug Blackman's a good race car driver. I've seen him there over the years there, Ryan. He's consistent.
Green flag, green
Going to be exciting. And green flag is out. Big shot there from Brandon Fries in the back of the 31 car of Andrew Mraz. Man, he shoved him there to the green flag. And now the top 2 clear. It's Fries in 2nd behind Mraz. Overton 3rd. Fabianic 4th. Carlson 5th. Mirando 6th. Blackman 7th as they come down the front first 2 corners. Single file 1st through 7th. That's not going to last long. Here comes Blackman already making a move from the back of this group on the outside. Let's just hope we can make it green, clean to the end of this race. As the field starts to fan out through 3 and 4, how long are they going to last before we see a crash? Maybe we can make it to the white flag and make it to the end without a caution.
I think Lee Overton is wanting Brandon Fries to go high.
Man, Blackman's got a huge run down the front. He's got no help, though, as he tries to get off the draft off of the 29 of Fries. 3 laps to go here for Andrew Mraz. Blackman needs help on the top.
Yes, he does.
Here comes Mirando and Carlson trying to help, but they're far back. It's going to take a second for him to get there, if at all. And Blackman pinching down Overton as much as he can, trying to get the side draft, trying to get there on the inside.
He's using his head.
He is, but Blackman might just have to fall in line in 4th and hang in there. Oh, Mraz is going to get turned. What a save by Andrew Mraz. He got bumped in there in the corner by Fries. What a save. He's still in it. 2 to go, and it's Brandon Fries at the line. Overton 2nd. Oh, man, what a save that was, and he's still in it in 4th. He's going to get back up to speed and maybe mount up another run, but these guys starting to push in the corners. He's getting real sketchy. No guarantee that it works when you push in the corners, as you just saw. That was a fantastic save by Mraz, but now it's Fries and Overton and Blackman down the back straightaway.
Yes, it is. I told you Brandon Fries has got the tires.
Oh, man, 3 wide. Mirando splits Doug Blackman and leaves him in the middle. They door slam through the corner. Mraz and Blackman getting together. Oh, please just make it to the line. White flag is waving. This is it. Last lap. Crash. No cautions. We're going to make it to the end under green somehow. White flag.
It'll be the first time in a while, won't it?
Yeah, it will. Brandon Fries. Oh, there they go. Mraz gets turned by Blackman. No caution. It's the last lap. Still racing to the line. Mraz and Blackman crash. Brandon Fries now has to hold off Lee Overton for another half lap.
Boy, somebody call that guy there. He's hurt.
And now down the back straightaway, Lee Overton. Can he get a help from Dylan Mirando here? Overton blocks Mirando. Mirando to the bottom to help Brandon Fries. Overton with no help. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Now it's between Mirando and Fries. Brandon Fries might have it made. Brandon Fries out of turn 4, leads the final lap, and Brandon Fries finally gets it done. Fries wins at Daytona. to open up the chase. Dylan Mirando second. Lee Overton ends up third. Doug Carlson fourth. Cody Fabianic fifth.
Wow.
Man, what a finish we had there.
Boy, I love that.
Good to see one of these super speedway races finally end under green. And what a wild show we got to see today.
We got to see a green finish.
Whew, and man, it puts on a great show here when we get a green flag finish at a super speedway. But man, Brandon Fries finally gets himself a win here in the Extreme Motorsports 99 K&N Series.
You see what I was talking about a while ago about Andrew and that other one? He got him earlier.
Brandon Fries gets the win. Andrew Mraz brought it across the line in 8th. Doug Blackman 7th after their last lap accident, battling for 3rd.
Wow. All right, let's get them up here, Bubba. You talk to the first two, and I'll get to talk to my freezer.
Yes, sir. So Lee Overton got 3rd. We'll talk to him first here in just a moment. Great run by him. So after that, Dylan Mirando, remember, he's not in the chase.
No.
Finished 2nd, though. So he does not get any point advantage from that finish. But Brandon Fries is going to have a good gap from him to Overton. And then back to Fabianic, the pole sitter, finished 5th. He'll be 3rd in points.
He sure will. Burn them down, Bubba. You deserve it. That guy right there done good.
Yeah, he deserved a win, and he finally gets it done here at Daytona.
He sure did, in the biggest track of the nation.
So I'm going to bring up Lee Overton here, our 3rd place finisher, in just 1 second.
User was moved to your channel.
Lee Overton, it's Ryan Gable up here in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going this evening?
That's going great, man. What a wild race. Finally got to see a super speedway race end under green, and man, it was a great show between you guys there at the end of the race. And it came down to the very last few corners there. Tell us about how your race went from your perspective.
It went pretty well. I was expecting a few more cautions here, to be honest, but we were able to make it on one stop there. I mean, then the caution came out and a few others grabbed some, but I mean, the 3 of us there were all good to the finish, but it was just a great effort running with Mr. Mraz and Brandon Fries and getting him the checkered flag. But it was a nice race. There was one accident that I barely skated through, which I'm happy, especially with chase points, but went overall good evening.
Yeah, that was what I noticed from your race mostly, is you had 1 or 2 moments there where you barely squeezed through some crashes, and man, that's what put you up there toward the front at the end with the very few clean cars that we had left. But when it came down to it in the last corner, it was kind of Dylan Mirando's choice on who won that race, and he, unfortunately for you, went down to the inside and pushed Brandon Fries through those last couple of corners. If he maybe went to the top and pushed you, do you think the result would be a little different?
Yeah, especially coming out of 4 at Daytona, we would have had that little bit of a hill there. If he went with us, we may even been able to clear Brandon prior to the exit of 4, and he could have tried to take me on the outside or something. But it is what it is. I'm happy with a podium finish here, going into the last 4 races of the year.
All right. Anyone you want to thank here? Any shout-outs you want to make?
Just again, you guys put on a great show up there, great broadcast, and shout out to Rick Donathan and everyone over at Extreme Motorsports for this league. It was this is one of the better super speedway races I've seen in a league, so I'm happy to be part of it.
All right, thank you. 3rd place finisher now, 2nd in the point standings, Lee Overton.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, now we're going to bring up runner-up Dylan Mirando.
User was moved to your channel.
Dylan Mirando, Ryan gave up here in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
10-4, Ryan. How's it going?
All right, Dylan, had a good run there. You kept it clean, kept it alive, and came home runner-up here tonight at Daytona. Unfortunately, you're not a chase driver. Had a rough couple of weeks. Finally get to talk to you up here in the booth. Get yourself a good second-place finish. Tell us about how your race went from your perspective.
Yeah, at the beginning there, I kind of decided, well, if these guys single file out and they're going to behave, I was going to hang up front there and just try to ride, and then kind of got shuffled out of the line there coming through the front stretch, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really liking this, so I just backed off and rode at the back, and big old wreck happened, and 1 and 2 I think it was, and I just locked them up, and just that natural banking, I couldn't get it going back to the right to kind of avoid those guys, and I just ever so slightly just kind of nudged somebody, and it gave me all sorts of damage. I couldn't believe that whenever I went back and looked at how much damage I had from it. But all in all, I mean, right after that happened, if you had told me I would have had a shot to win there at the end, I probably wouldn't have believed you because my car really wasn't driving that good after that. But ran the Cup Series race and the Xfinity race this week. This is my second place this week, so really I can't complain too much. My K&N Series was absolutely awful. Led a ton of laps. Had a chance to win a ton of races, and then it just bad luck, getting wrecked and whatever else, and just wasn't able to make it into the chase. But a lot of momentum. I'm feeling probably the best I've ever felt behind the wheel of an asphalt car. So just more momentum to finish out the rest of this year. I'm still trying to get some wins and run for a championship in some of the upper classes next season.
Yeah, you certainly did a good job. You've had a lot of bad luck this season to not make the chase, but great season nevertheless. Finally get yourself a good finish here tonight with the second place run. Anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs you want to make?
Yeah, first and foremost, my main sponsor, Anarchy Customs, RPM Shock Services. Right now, if you look down at TeamSpeak, we're Question Mark Motorsports. We still haven't come up with a new name yet. Kind of going through some stuff right now, but got a great group of guys around me. Could not do it without my team. You guys in the booth, you guys doing a great job, especially you guys have recently. Extreme Motorsports 99.com for putting this on. Had a lot of fun the past week or so, and I believe that's all. Hopefully I can, if I'm up in the booth talking to you guys after the race, it means it was a good one. So hopefully I can do that more this season.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations, runner-up.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Have a good one, guys.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, Tim, I'm going to bring up race winner 16 or the 29 of Brandon Freeze here for you.
Woo, Brandon Freeze.
User was moved to your channel.
Brandon Freeze, it's Tim McBrayer in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you tonight, Tim?
I'm doing great, but I tell you what, buddy. You're the luckiest guy out there tonight. You notice that?
I missed about 2 or 3 wrecks out there, Tim, and I know I'm lucky. I got great teammates and great sponsors, and lucky to come out tonight with a win.
Buddy, I seen you when you was in them almost wrecks, and I said that got to be the luckiest fella on the track. But I tell you what, Brandon, you've been running real good all season, and you deserve this win right here. And I was hollering a while ago, burn them down, buddy, you deserve it. And congratulations on your win here at the biggest track of the country. And hey, you got the first of the 5 races there. And you got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, Tim, I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank my teammates, Downforce Motorsports. Couldn't ask for better guys. And 16 car Lee helped me out a lot tonight. So I want to thank him as well. I want to thank Gertner and Company and for sponsoring me, and my wife for letting me come out here a couple nights a week and have fun with everyone.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to have that wife in there, buddy. We'll catch you next time. Maybe we'll get you again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for everything you guys do up there, and thank you to Extreme 99.
Yeah, boy. We'll catch you later, Brandon. Have a good one. Okay,
User
Ryan.
was moved out of your channel.
Give us a top 10 there, and we'll get out of here.
All right, after that wild race you guys got to see tonight, race winner, Brandon Freeze, he takes victory and takes the points lead here after the first race of the chase. Second place, Dylan Mirando. Third, Lee Overton, who shoots to second in points since Mirando wasn't in the chase. Fourth, Doug Carlson. Fifth, Cody Fabianic. Sixth, Orlando Rivera. Seventh, Doug Blackman, who led the most laps here tonight. Eighth place, Andrew Mraz. After that late race accident, still comes through with a decent finish. They're up in eighth. He actually led the second most laps here tonight with 22 laps led. Finishing ninth, Alan Fox. And 10th place, Jacob Chalafaux.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a great race tonight there, Ryan. And everybody, we appreciate y'all coming to ExtremeMotorsports99.com tonight here in Daytona for the first chase race. And we catch y'all next week on race number 2 in the booth here. I'm Tim McBrayer. I'm going to say good night from Daytona and my good friend Ryan Galville. We'll catch y'all next week.